welcome to the Book of Wellbeing podcast, a place to help you to understand, manage and improve your mental health and wellbeing, where you will find the knowledge, guidance and tools you need to improve your life and where you can build your own wellbeing toolkit to take with you. One wish that we all have in common is a wish to be and to feel happy, to have a carefree life filled with joy, to be happy with ourselves and the lives that we lead. But we all make the same two misconceptions when it comes to how and when we experience happiness. One, we presume that happiness is in our future when we have some form of material object that we desire, something that we observe others having and want for ourselves. And two, we expect or hope that happiness just happens to us one day. And I know that these statements may come across as harsh, but I'm telling you this so that you can break through the first thing that's preventing you from finding happiness, that you're likely currently looking in the wrong places. Because one, when you spend ages pining for that material object, the money, the house, the car, the person, the holiday, and so on, you get it, and you might experience a short period of happiness, but it's short-lived because you move on to the next thing that your heart desires, thinking that that one will then make you happy. A chasing the tail cycle. And two, happiness doesn't just fall into our laps one day. It might temporarily, in one of those rare moments when we experience a warmth and joyous feeling, usually when we finally have that material object. But it doesn't just happen to us. We have to look in the right places and we have to alter, change and work at the way we think, our mindset and the choices that we make. And within that, happiness is absolutely possible and within your reach. The main thing that causes us to feel unhappy isn't the things that happen to us, it's the way we think, the content and habits of our thought patterns. And I know you might be thinking this isn't right. And of course, life-changing bad events like breakups, loss and ill health are more about the thing we've gone through than our thoughts. And I'm not dismissing any of that. Those things can be really painful times. But on the whole, the majority of our own unhappiness is caused by what's going on in our own thoughts and how much undivided attention we allow those thoughts to have from us. If we want to feel happier, then we have to get a hold of and tackle these thought patterns. To do this, you follow these steps. You notice and observe where your thoughts are. Then you accept that you have that thought. You don't resist it. And the last step, you either detach yourself from it by changing the focus, or you challenge it by asking questions like, is this fact or opinion? What would a friend or a trusted person say? Or by fighting back with positive statements. And you keep following these steps again and again until it gets easier. Thought control is the most important first step to having a happier life. It isn't easy, but it's doable. What happiness is and what we need to have it is different for all of us. The areas of our lives that we find it in are usually the same, but the smaller details are usually different. What might make you happy might not make me happy, and vice versa. Whatever it is, it's about being at peace and satisfied. And it's about figuring out what makes you happy, not what you think it should look like, not through comparison to other people's lives, but what you want out of your life. It's a skill that we can learn. Happiness is partially about making changes to areas of our lives that we're unhappy with and actively doing something about it, but it's also partially about opening our eyes, looking properly around us and learning to be more accepting and grateful for what we already have and seeing these things from a different light. Appreciate the things you do have because somewhere in the world someone doesn't have them but wishes they did. So every time you feel unhappy or unsatisfied, look around you, open your eyes and find things to be grateful for. Change the direction of your thoughts and rather than focusing on that unhappy feeling, focus on gratitude. From the people around you to the roof over your head and the air that you breathe, and the ability that you have freedom to make new choices and changes. When we feel unhappy and unsatisfied, we tend to get caught up in our own thoughts about ourselves and our lives and where areas aren't right. And my next piece of advice, alongside practicing gratitude, is to think of yourself less. Not to think less of yourself, just think about yourself less. Try to be less caught up in yourself and with yourself. We're in our heads with ourselves a lot of the time, and we all need a break from that company, especially when it isn't always pleasant. From time to time, think more about the world around you, the people around you, and get out of your own head, even just for a short while. When we feel unhappy and we're having a struggle in life, thinking about feeling happy can feel like a really big task or a really unachievable goal from the place we're at in that moment. And something that I discovered a long time ago when I was looking at ways to feel happier and how we get to this, I discovered an alteration to the way that I was looking at it and to the way that I was advising other people to look at it. And I'll stick with this one probably for the rest of my life, because sometimes aiming for happiness feels really unrealistic and unachievable when we're in a dark place. So instead, change the way that you phrase it, and instead of aiming for happiness, aim for contentment. So feeling content with yourself and your life. And this is up to you. You can stick with happiness because that is definitely achievable, but sometimes reframing how we think about it and how we talk about it can help it to feel less daunting and more achievable. So if you aim for a content life and a content you, that is a way of feeling happier. Pursuing happiness sounds complicated, but it is within your reach and control if you're willing to make changes. So the first skill and tool I am introducing to you today is called the life scale. It's quite easy to do. So we think of 5 areas of our lives. I'll talk you through them in a minute, and we rate them between 0 and 10 as to how satisfied we are with that area. And the areas that we are less satisfied with on the scale are the areas we need to make changes with. So the first area is relationships. So this is any relationship or friendship, your family, intimate relationships. How satisfied are you with that area of your life, with the relationships you have? So think about the scale where 0 is not satisfied at all and 10 is very satisfied. No right or wrong, just rate where you think you are. The next one is community. So this is about your involvement with the community and the environment around you. And it doesn't have to be around specific community activities. It's just about feeling like you belong in the place that you live. You have places to go and people you can talk to. So again, rate this area between 0 and 10 as to where you think you sit at the moment. The third area is purpose. So we all need a purpose. We need something to keep us going, a reason to get out of bed in the morning. So purpose can be work, it can be occupation, it can be being a parent, a carer, any purpose in life that gives you some kind of satisfaction, not all of the time. Being a parent is not easy all of the time, but that you have a reason to get up in the morning. So think about your purpose, whether you do or you don't have one, and rate this one on the scale. The fourth area is health. So this is about physical and mental health. How do you feel within yourself, within your health at the moment? 0 would be very unhealthy, you don't feel well. 10 would be very healthy. Or for example, 5 might be you don't feel great, but you feel okay. You might have some minor health problems. The last one is positive experiences. So try not to think about too narrow a time frame, so within the last couple of days, but think about over the last 6 months. I know at the moment this is difficult with COVID, but think about how much of life gives you some positive experiences. And this will be different for all of us, but things that make you feel good or make you feel better, and rate that. So there you have it. You've rated the 5 areas of your life. Probably need to write this down just so that you can make sense of it. The areas that you are least satisfied with, that are falling usually below 5 on the scale, are the areas that you need to think about making changes with. And again, when we talked about change in an earlier episode, change that is within your control. Some things you can't control, but what can you, and what small changes can you start to make within that area, or even just planning things? It doesn't have to be making a change right now. It might be just that you start to plan making a change. The last tool I am introducing to you to help you to feel happier is called smile therapy. So when we feel unhappy or down or low, we tend to smile less. And smiling is not easy when we feel like that. But the physical act of smiling actually releases endorphins into our body and our brains that help us to feel happier and lift our mood and reduce stress. So, when you feel down, low, unhappy, you need to find a reason to smile. And I know this can be really difficult, but some things that can help might be to think about past memories that made you feel happy or that made you laugh, or sometimes seek out something to make you laugh. So look on the telly or look on YouTube or the internet at a comedian that makes you laugh, or some kind of funny animal video, or go outside and find something that makes you smile, but practice it. The only thing to think about when we're practicing smile therapy is it doesn't work if it's a fake smile. And I think about a fake smile as one that doesn't reach your eyes. So we need to find something that really does make our whole face smile. And keep practicing it, keep trying, keep seeking out things that make you feel better and make you smile more. Because that, although it's quite small and might seem insignificant, it does really make a difference. There's also a really good resource online. The website is actionforhappiness.org, and Action for Happiness have a free app that you can download on a smartphone that has daily tips and advice around feeling happier, which is really good. They also have an online free 10-day program to feeling happier and a downloadable guidebook, 10 Keys to Happier Living. So, if you want some additional advice, tips, and guidance from what I've told you today, then have a look at Action for Happiness and give it a go. That's it for this week's episode. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to keep an eye on the Facebook and Instagram page for regular tips, advice, and guidance around improving the way that you feel. Have a nice week.